Guys, I'm here at the Loveland Living Planet Aquarium in Draper, Utah, 12033 Lone Peak Highway. This is Utah's leading aquarium. It's the biggest one. There's also one in Layton, but this is the aquarium of Salt Lake. My favorite part here is the South American exhibit. They actually have a separate partition of the building. The moisture in the facility is different to accommodate the tropical plants and animals. So let's go see what we have here. Alright, there's the building name. This newer building is probably half a dozen years old. There was another facility in Sandy, Utah, up on 9th East-ish, and it was a smaller facility. Then they expanded here and it keeps growing. If you look at the building from the freeway, it actually looks like a shark with a shark tail. It's pretty cool. Alright, let's go inside. See, there's the shark tail, and there's the freeway. Relatively close. Today we're going to go through the Rockstar entrance because I have an annual pass here. Open sesame. Pricing is reasonable, $60 per adult. You can buy other passes.
Oh, there we go first.
Journey to South America. This is the entrance of Journey to South America. Right off the bat, we have some freshwater stingrays. Beautiful waterfall. The humidity is at least 70% in here. If you take a step back, you can see that this cement formation is actually shaped like a snake, like an Aztec type style. And in this aquarium is the ripsaw catfish and the river stingray. There's also some Plecostomus right over there hiding under that wood formation. Here's the ripsaw catfish. One of the newer exhibits as of 2018 is this butterfly enclosure. You can go in there. The butterflies will land on you, you can hold them, you just can't remove them from their feeding trays. I mean, come on, who wants to be disturbed while you're eating, right? Chocolate? This is the cocoa tree right here. It's kind of hurting a little bit, but ooh, maybe I'll come back in a little bit, huh? A lot of people. Let's go over here. The electric eel. Over 600 volts of power. Batteries are included. May the force be with you. Alright, we're doing the electric eel challenge here. 700 volts.
That's a lot of volts.
Well, the eel, but this is a demonstration on how the potential of being shocked by it. You know what you can do? You can touch one and then like hold hands. The other person at the end touches it, and then you'll all get shocked.
Okay.
You have to hold her right.
Good. You hold Seth's
It
hand.
has to be a chain from.
Hold Seth's hand. Seth, you hold Kayla's hand. Seth, put your water bottle down. Okay, Brooke, touch it.
No, then you need to touch it, yeah.
Wait, I don't feel it. I don't feel it.
Awesome.
I don't like it.
Alright, so this electric eel here, the electric shock it can deliver is actually up to 700 volts, which is about five AC outlets in series. The skin cells act like batteries in series to combine and make 700 volts. They use it to stun their prey and then they eat them. So when those kids were getting shocked, they were just touching this thing right here. And obviously it doesn't provide 700 volts electricity. Off to the butterfly exhibit. A lot better crowd here now. Got some marijuana growing right here. Some Mary Jane. This little butterfly is feeding on the nectar.
That's like the perfect shot right there.
Yeah.
This proboscis is still out too. You get close. It's harder to see on that one because he's so small.
Yeah. You can still see it though. That's awesome.
We got a cute little ladybug crawling around too. We use those as pest control. They eat all the aphids.
Oh, good. So it turns out that butterflies can taste with their feet. One thing that I really like about the aquarium is that there's just so many different types of plant life here, and they're all labeled so you can read about them. So if you're a plant nut like I am, this is the place to come. Did you know that Chinese evergreens have been grown in Asia for good luck for centuries? Look at the awesome patterns on these plants. Here we have a fish exhibit with their red-tailed catfish. In the far back there's a arapaima, very, very large fish. It can gulp air and live in muddy rivers during the drought seasons. In the far back there's the arowana fish. You see those a lot in pet stores, but in nature they get a lot bigger. Red-bellied pacu. Look at the size of these pacu. Those look to be about 3 or 4 feet long. Look at that. Look at that fatty right there. They feed him well at Loveland. I don't really envy my fellow Brazilians who have to swim in rivers with those fish in it. Even who pacu are vegetarians. One little nibble, they might think your toe is a nut or something, or a seed. Just kidding. Those are big fish. See, if you stop and just look around at the aquarium, I mean, there are just hundreds and hundreds of different plants. So many different species here. Those are those soilless plants. Those are popular nowadays. You get them in the little glass balls grown in moss, because they actually grow on the side of trees and they don't need dirt. Here's a good example. It's a really big facility in the South American section here. They actually let birds fly around here. There's a cage right over there that contains some birds, some of the toucan birds, but they have a lot of birds that actually fly around. The wall is decorated with some Aztec, Mayan type artwork. And then the floors have leaf imprints, maybe to show like a prehistoric age to them. Maybe some fossil type approach there. Maybe to add that is maybe for that to look like a petrified leaf that once hit the ground, hit some peat moss or something, and just stayed there long enough. They recently got some sloths here. I think there's 2 at this facility. We're getting to the bridge that overlooks the aquarium that we saw down below. You can see the arapaima over there, and the white arowana, and the red-bellied pacu. Kind of helps you appreciate the size of them from up here too. So this is where you'll find the Linnaeus' two-toed sloth from the northern part of South America. You can see that bad boy hanging out in his little basket over there, right in the corner, being lazy. Just hanging out. Occasionally they'll come out here with food and he'll get out and slowly work his way over to the food. The toucan type bird at the top there. And this little guy right here. These are interesting because they have curled feathers on their heads. Pretty bird. That was the keel-billed toucan. Another thing they have in this exhibit is tortoises. Look at the far end, there's this desert type landscape and some heating lamps. That guy's just hanging out. It's about 20 inches long. From here we go on up this ramp to the poison frog and the cane toad section. There's also a rope bridge to play on for those of you who are not afraid of heights. So I watched a documentary on the television about cane toads, and apparently they are a very big pest in Australia. They are overtaking the land. They have no predators because of the excretions that the poisonous excretions. And so they have to round these up by hand, and they have squads of people who go around killing them by the thousands, and it's still not making much of a difference. The cane toad, 4 to 6 inches. It eats anything. Oh, look at that. It's an invasion. Cane toad was brought to Queensland, Australia in the 1930s in an unsuccessful attempt to reduce destructive beetle population. About 3,000 toads were originally released, and now they're everywhere. That's a smoky jungle frog. Got a turtle in the bottom there. And that looks like that little guy back there is the cane toad. What I think is kind of cool about this exhibit is there's some pothos type vines growing throughout. They tend to air layer their roots, like right here, how they just come out spontaneously to branch out, to grip, and to grow. I usually see more than one cane toad in here, but that's the guy right down here. If you piss him off, he will excrete some poisonous goo. Do not touch the poisonous goo. Onwards and upwards. Top of the jungle exhibit, where we can see the rope bridge so many people have braved and lived to tell about it. Uh-oh, someone's having a meltdown. We'll come back. Only in Utah can you find a poison dart frog this big. So I've heard that poison arrow frogs are only poisonous because of the ants they eat. Is that true? Leave a comment below and let me know.
It's a little one.
Oh, cool, yeah. Got 4 back there, some yellow ones, some little guys. There's probably 20 frogs in there. So this little terrarium is the Amazon milk frog. It protects itself by excreting a poisonous goo too. There's 1, 2, 3, one in the corner, one in this corner. This guy's just hanging out saying, "What's up?" Hey. Is that your log? Is that your rock? It's a good one. Okay, it's our turn. I can see my house from here. There's the ducks from the beginning and the rivers. River stingray. Oh, we made it, oh my gosh. And now we exit the jungle. Into 23% humidity versus 70. You'll find Jimmy Hoffa before you find any humpback whales. If you recognize that quote, put your comment below of what movie it was. On the second floor, there's a place called Tuki's Island Play and Party Center. It's a place for children. You can rent it for birthdays. You can tell there's a jungle gym there next to the bathrooms. Up high by the ray and the big whale shark, and this overlooks the facility. To your right is the shark aquarium, and there's also a catering room right here, and the shark aquarium more back here. You can schedule events there. It's really cool, nice and quiet, and the entire wall is a shark tank. Up here is a ship type structure. It goes all the way down next to the big old shark jaw. I think there's a movie about that now, Megalodon or something. This isn't my favorite exhibit right here. It's really plain. There's nothing to do. It just kind of takes up space. I think they could take advantage of this space a lot more by removing this and putting something else. But that's just me. You can squish a penny, put a turtle or a shark or a frog on it. But right now I'm heading to a 4D experience called the Coastal Predators. Alright, so this 4D experience, it's everything in a bag of chips. It's a small theater. And one of the great things is this water thing right here. It's gonna spray me in the face during the movie, but guess what? Last time I was here, 3 years ago, it like basically squirts a blast of water in your face. It's not very gentle, it's not very cool. So I'm gonna just keep my foot over it like that. Well, I have to admit, for years, the little squirters in the 4D experience are still turned up too much. The compressor's too high, and it just shoots the water too hard at your face. I was prepared, so I put my foot over it. So it really does like a nice blast into your face. Kind of takes away from the experience because they make it synchronized to like dolphins and whales breaching the surface of the water, which is a gentle splash, but this is like a blast in your face. Solenoids opening up and just shooting a nice blast right in your face. It's just too compressed. So this is the Asia exhibit. Those two terrariums are a little bit misty. Green tree monitor is the main animal in this exhibit. So that was the sailfin dragon. This is actually the green tree monitor right here. Size ratio there. One of his buddies is in the corner just hanging out, loafing on a branch. And the Asian small clawed otters always draw a lot of attention.
I'm pretty sure there's a nest up there.
Here's the upside down jellyfish. They grow up to 12 inches in diameter. They latch onto the ocean floor and they store algae inside their systems, which in turn photosynthesize and provide an ongoing food source for the jellyfish. Whoa. I'm gonna brag for a second about the Loveland Living Planet Aquarium in Draper, Utah, because they have the best aquariums I've seen. I've been to SeaWorld, I've been to other places like the San Diego Zoo, I went to an aquarium in the Bahamas. It was a Marriott property, can't remember the name right now. But most aquariums go for big and bold, whether it's artificial coral, they just go for big, and most people walk by quickly and just look at the fish and say, ooh, oh, there's the Nemo fish, oh, there's the Dory fish. But at the Living Planet Aquarium, you can stop and stare at just like one small area, and you can see dozens of different life forms. So if you're willing to stop and pause and just look around, you'll see that there's more than just artificial coral, which I see very little of here. You see living plants, living animals, you'll see little crabs. On top of the crabs, you'll see like centipede-like structures, animals walking around in the substrate. They've got these snails, and I don't know what those avocado seed pit-looking things are. Got these wavy things here, some form of an anemone or sea worm. Of course, you have the variety of fish. This is still the Asia exhibit. Looks like up there on the coral there's some almost frog egg looking objects there. They're shiny and green. Must be eggs or cysts or some kind of growth happening there. And off we go. Over there was South America. We exited there before we went to Asia. Now we're walking down the ramp to see the penguins. All right, here we are, the Gen 2 penguin exhibit. There's no one here. This is crazy. This is wonderful. Usually there's people like stuck against the window, the glass, looking at them. Hey, bud. Hey, Curious George. We'll go down here in a minute. You can see the lower half of the terrarium. They swim around at lightning speeds. All right. Free Willy! Discover Utah, here we come. We are in Utah, Draper, Utah. Let's see what they have here. Sandstone. Bugs. Toads. King snakes. Here's a crazy thing. Utah is known as being a desert, but I lived in Utah for many years, and I went to California for a while, and there is more green here than California. And I was living on the West Coast in Pasadena. So where is the green? Do I have to go inland? I know I haven't explored a lot of California. That's just an interesting thought because we have so much desert here, such as Moab and whew.
Yeah, those are big old fish, huh?
Behind the scenes. Dun dun dun. Got some trout. Hello, Mr. Bass. Do you want a worm? Come on, the cartoons tell me you like worms. Come on. This boreal toad lives at elevations above 6,000 feet. Hey, bud. Apparently you cannot capture or hold these, and the aquarium has a special certificate to have this guy here. This is one of the newer exhibits. It's the bee exhibit, and this is pretty awesome. There's the gigantic fake bees on the top, but they have these honeycombs that you can literally look into, and there's live bees doing their work. They put their wax over these already. So little guys are growing and eating and pupating and going through their little changes. There's some honey being put into those cells. But how cool that they have this exhibit. I was talking to an employee, and these beehives actually go farther out behind the building where we can't see. We all know that the bees have been dying in large numbers because of insecticides and pesticides. So hopefully we can keep our bees. Here's the river otter exhibit. These otters are a lot larger than the ones I showed you before. I think we were in Asia when I showed you those. Oh, here comes this guy. You coming through? All right, bud. They sure are cute, but they're really mean. Alright, here's the June suckerfish. It's not just a name for someone who bought some stocks in the market and lost money. Utah June sucker. Found in Utah Lake. Okay, have you guys heard of sea monkeys? That's the commercial name for brine shrimp. And brine shrimp are from, well, they're other places, but mainly there's a nice population in the Great Salt Lake. And they're kind of funny looking. You can buy these brine shrimp eggs, hatch them and feed them to small fish or fry. It makes a good protein for them. You can grow them in a little aquarium so kids can look at them. Here's an exploded view of what they look like. This is the male. He has some hooks in the front so we can grab the female and hold on. So the barred tiger salamander. Look at that funny looking thing. That thing's awesome. Everything you'd want in a salamander. Now we're headed to the Ocean Explorer. The aquarium has some touch pools where you can touch starfish and other animals. So here's a little aquarium, and one of the examples that I was talking about before is all the different life that lives in it. You got some shrimp and a crab, the anemones, and if you look down in the left-hand corner, oh, this centipede type bug is hanging out in the rock. So those things I mentioned before that looked like frog eggs or some kind of eggs, look like they're little algae balls. Maybe an algae bloom of some sort, some food source. Here's another touch tank that they have here. Mostly some rays. urchin in the back there, next to the filter. You got a sea star down at the bottom, it's hard to see. You got a redfish hiding in the back, just hanging out on the rock. There he is. What's up? Where are you going? This is the pale sand goby. Giant Pacific octopus. Hello, Mr. Convict. Mr. Convict Blenny, what do you have to say for yourself? Do you know that your rump is sticking out the side? These are slate pencil sea urchins. And this tank is full of them. That is a spotted, spiny lobster in the back. The trash fish of the sea. Now a delicacy at $25 a pound. So this American lobster here, he's a big one. He's been here for a while. Look at the size of that thing. I don't know about you, but whenever I see like the zebra mantis shrimp on a TV show or whatever, I think, oh, that's cute. It's probably as big as my pinky. Wow, it can break a bottle with this little explosive claw. Look at the size of this thing. It's gotta be 8 inches long. It can strike with the same force as a .22 caliber bullet. In other words, if you're a fish, you're history. Pretty cool. We want you to be in our club, kid. And now the shark hallway. What are we gonna find down here? Sharks, perhaps? Oh my goodness. Fish.
Mom, I found all the sharks.
There's also a sea turtle in here with bubble butt. It got injured in the sea, and so it floats. So they've attached a weight to it, and now it lives here. Whoa, those are going fast. There he is, hiding in the corner, sleeping. I don't know if you can see in this picture, but the back of his shell looks like 2 weights glued to it. Otherwise, he floats up with his hind end in the air and can't dive, and thus would not survive in the wild. Very loud in here. Unless you come here during a party, then you have it all to yourself. It's nice and quiet. Running the corner, we're going to be on the other side of the tank. And if we go through those double doors right there, we'll be in that conference room that the whole wall is the other side of the tank.
Right here, laying. Resting.
Here we go.
Nope.
But I don't see any more.
Look at the size of this.
So pretty much we walked the entire aquarium in less than 2 hours. The crowds are not too bad on a Sunday. And I'm ready to go home. It closed at 6. They serve really good food here. Top notch over there at the grill. They have some really good desserts, such as Farr's ice cream, some handmade, everything from cupcakes to cake pops, to designer cookies, starfish and crabs, butterflies. It's all top notch. And they have Lana's chocolates, ices, Mountain America ATM machine, and then a pretty cool gift shop on your way out. Gen 2. Do 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 do. Anybody know this plant? Is this coleus? All right, that's the aquarium. Hop, skip, and a jump from the freeway in Salt Lake / Draper, Utah. They're always expanding, adding new animals and exhibits. It's a pretty good gig. Paid $60 a person for my family. You can buy, if you want to do like a huge family pack, it's in the $200 range, but that includes like grandma and grandpa, like 18 kids and whatnot. Pretty awesome. This is the parking lot to the right. They've expanded the parking lot over there. It's kind of an overflow. You come